Good evening, good evening, good evening, listeners. Thank you for joining in with us today for another segment of Strikeback on relationships. And today our theme is love, legacy, and reality, marriage and living beyond the daily grind. While you're at it, if you would please like, love, and share this video, I would certainly appreciate it. I am so excited to be back, and I have a wonderful panel that I am bringing before you. I am Tish. I am your moderator for this evening, Tish Epps. I also have my co-moderator, Sister Helena Davis, who's a licensed professional counselor. So we're going to have some professional advice on the panel today, and I want the panelists to know that this is the only time you're going to get a free session. So anything after this, insurance is accepted. Okay, so we're gonna get started. We about 5 or 6 minutes behind, but that's all right. Stick with us, stay in here. And first, I want to let you know that today we are coming to you to share some real conversations, some hard truths without any filters, for the sake of growth, insight, and strengthening relationships. Because if we're not doing that, that's not our job. We're not doing our job. And you just know that these couples still have to go home with each other tonight. So we don't want any confusion on the panel tonight, right?
Amen,
just nod your head.
Amen.
All right. And as you can see, they're all maxed tonight. They're all wearing masks. And no, they're not under any gag order, nor do they have COVID. But, however, I want to ask these couples a simple question. Couples, if you dare to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth about what's going to take place in this segment tonight, please signify that by removing your maxed filters.
Okay.
Oh, okay. See, I already have some problems. I have this whole couple on the corner over here. They don't even want to remove their filters. They must have some dirty truths. But I'm going to ask them to remove them anyway, and anything they care to divulge, they can. But just remember, y'all have to go home with each other tonight, okay? Okay, so be kind and be gentle, but be truthful.
Amen.
Okay, so we're going to start out with a question that I want to ask. First of all, introduce yourselves and how long you've been married. We're going to start with couple number one.
Oh, we number one because we number one. My name is Cassie Campbell.
Keith Campbell.
And we've been married for 9 months.
All right.
I'm Essica Pullum, and this is my husband, Lloyd Pullum, and we've been married for 8 years, going on 9 this year.
Amen.
All right now.
I am Angel. This is my husband, Sherrod. We are the Choices, and we have been married going on 7 years. Ain't that right, babe? Hello.
That's right.
Hello.
Nobody on this panel has been married at least 10 years, and that's quite all right. That means they're still young. They're young in the marriage. They are very much in love. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that.
Amen.
Okay.
We on our way to tea.
Show you're right. Okay, so I do want to ask you guys one question tonight for starters, and that's, if you had to describe your marriage in one word, what would that be? And don't speak until I call on you, couple number one.
Patience.
Okay. Essica.
Our marriage, laughter.
Keith Campbell.
Oh, I am powerful.
Powerful.
Ooh, I like
Come
that.
on.
Work.
Work. Come on, Angel.
Spontaneous.
Spontaneous.
Yes.
Continuity.
Spontaneity.
Committed.
Committed. I think I like all those answers. Helena, what does it take to maintain all of that in a relationship?
So I've been married for 36 years in May.
Amen.
And I would say committed. But to what it takes for a couple to go from year 1 to year 10 to 15 to 20 is commitment. It's commitment to the things that you agree upon. It's having the patience. It's being kind with each other. It's being able to communicate, resolve conflict, talk about expectations, check-ins, all the things.
Y'all check in. Do y'all know what check-in is?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, now.
Answer the phone.
Okay, so we're going to start with our segment one, a marriage in today's culture. Okay, and I may just randomly call out a couple. Okay, so don't get a little too lengthy. Don't get too wordy. And if I stop you, don't fight me. Okay, I'm just a messenger. You all said I do in a different era. Okay, now we're watching folks get engaged on Instagram and divorced on TikTok. From your perspective, is marriage still worth it? Or has the culture moved on? Couple number two. Is marriage still worth it?
Yes, I believe so. It's how you extend. Only way for me to extend your legacy, I would say, through marriage. Marriage has helped me to be a better man, a better person. The accountability of myself to my wife and to my family has made me a better person.
That's because you want to piggyback on your husband's response.
He did a great job. However, I would say that it's definitely still something that we need in our society. Life is hard. And so, you have a partner that you can do life with, that you can lean on and be vulnerable with.
Sherrod?
Yeah, I would say marriage is definitely worth it, but people have to see it for what it is. A lot of people see marriage as, oh, I get to have this big party and I have to, enjoy the celebration or whatnot.
Right.
But marriage is about responsibility.
So it's not as all glamorous as it looks all the time?
No, it's a microcosm of life.
I like that. Angel?
Baby, my husband said that. Yes, absolutely. I think it's definitely worth it. And you have to get married for the right reasons. Some people look at it as just for a moment, whereas a lifetime. And I feel like that's where people mess things up. Like what Essica was saying, as far as in you're being married to build a life with somebody. Whether it's hard, whether it's happy, you're going to go through all these emotions. So
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
Campbell's.
I think marriage is very relevant in this time.
Is it worth it?
I believe so. I just think that you need to be prepared for the commitment to make that choice. A lot of times we're not prepared, or we use the wrong reasons, our feelings, or what we rely upon as opposed to logic.
So would you say there's some unforeseen circumstances in relationships that happen unforeseen?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's
Cassie?
life.
What my husband said.
Ditto. Miss Helena, do you have any comments? Because they all said I do, and obviously they still do because they're still committed and they're still here. So that means y'all are still connected and together, right?
Correct.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Helena, you have any?
Personally, I believe marriage is worth it, but I do work with couples on a day-to-day basis, and of course, many of them are questioning if it is worth it.
Right.
So, I think it depends on the person. A lot of it depends on what they've seen, what they've learned, what they know. So, I think it's an individual thing. Personally, I believe it's worth it.
I like all of y'all answers. Y'all all right in my book. Y'all gonna be back on this panel. I can already see it going to a part 2. My next question for you couples. A lot of people today are saying, why do I need a piece of paper? We can love each other without all of that. So what would you say to a person with that mindset? Keith,
The paper, I mean, it's...
what does the paper do? Besides, have your signature on the bottom?
That's law. That's what the law requires. But from a spiritual perspective, I just believe that that's where it starts. My knowing what the word says about what a man's position is, as well as when he wants to take on the role of leader, head of the house, and father, that plays a big part. It also eliminates some of the, well, not eliminate, but it makes it a little bit smoother to be able to deal with the issues that come, later on.
Okay, I'm gonna keep on along this string of men right here. I'm gonna go to Lloyd. Come on.
So I think people are maybe afraid of the paper, but at first I think it starts with the covenant. The covenant. In any marriage, it's 3 people. It's you, your spouse, and then it's God. Amen. And so it's very relevant. The covenant is very relevant now, and we all need that as our glue to keep us together.
All right, Sherrod, what do you have to say about that?
I don't really care too much about the paper. I focus on the commitment. I don't have a problem committing on paper because I want to commit across all physicalities, paper, spiritual, mental. So I'm 100% in, and so I didn't care how I did it, as long as I proclaimed my love to my wife. So.
Helene, is paper always necessary to consummate the marriage? I mean, just to make it feel legal, or does it feel any differently? I mean, if it's just legal and in writing?
So I'm going to give the probably unpopular. I agree with all these couples, but I talk to couples all the time, and so what I tell them, because not everyone that I talk to is actually a believer or have that kind of faith, right?
Right.
What I do tell them is what the paper does. It gives you legality, right? It's legal. It's some protection in the paper because the law says, hey, now this is your next of kin, all of the things. Now, what I have noticed, younger couples are kind of skirting around that because they can do all the power of attorneys and all the things and trust and that. So they're protecting each other. And then we cannot forget, here in Texas, this is a common law state. So even without the paper, there's some, if you hold yourself out to be husband and wife, you do certain things together, you would still have to get a divorce like the people that got married legally.
So you're saying I still have access to all the assets that this man has if I just choose to
common law, yeah, you do have
So you mean
access.
to tell me, hold up, that
Let me drink my water.
I
real
didn't
quick.
need no paper. I still could have got the benefits.
You could have. Yes, but let me say this.
But that's in the state of Texas. Now,
That's
now
in
if
the
you
state
go
of
up,
Texas.
you
the
went to
street-
Jamaica, remember?
Where we stay?
We're in Texas.
Where we
We're in
stay?
Texas.
We stay.
And
I'm just asking.
it's some legalities to it, but yes, this is a common law. It's a common law state. So
Basically, we need to do our studying. We need to study.
well, let me say this.
Research.
Let me say this. I believe, like I said, I've been married, be 36 years in May, but I believe that your marriage license kind of thing is really the outward sign of the inward commitment, right?
Yes.
And so it's the commitment that you have already made. And sometimes what happens is men, and you hear men say this quite frequently, oh, she's wife material, right? She that means they'll marry that person. Women, we say a lot, they got potential. What does that mean? Men see the characteristics.
That's pretty
and
deep
then
there,
women-
Helene.
Women, we say potential. So I say all that to say, if there is not a commitment before the wedding, the marriage, it's not going to just automatically come.
Right.
Y'all understand that, couples?
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah.
And we always thinking we can change a man. It's like, oh, he has potential, so maybe once we get married, I can change him. Do you think it's fair to say that if I go into it with that mindset that I can change him a little bit, maybe I can mold him and make him the kind of to be the man I need him to be?
That normally doesn't work out well.
Wasting your time.
What we hope is that you grow after you get married. But what I tell couples is, what you're saying when you say I do, is if nothing else about this person changes, I do until death do us part.
Right.
Woo.
Period.
Woo.
That's true.
Ladies, you agree with that?
I agree.
You agree?
I agree.
Because y'all is definitely shaking y'all's head.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, so what is it that marriage gives you that dating or living together, even friendship, can't give you? Anybody speak up.
Marriage gives you that I don't have to sin no more.
All
Oh,
right.
that's real.
Marriage is burn, huh? It's better to marry.
Well, when I say sin, with
From
that
you.
mean like I could just be free to do whatever I want to do with that one particular person.
Okay.
So
Marriage
yeah,
bed is undefiled.
there.
What did you say, Lloyd?
The marriage bed is undefiled.
The marriage bed is undefiled.
You got fun.
Angel, what do you say? Because
I'm just very big on like partnership and just experiencing and sharing my life with somebody. I'm
Okay.
very big on that because we all came from a mother and a father, right? We got siblings and we all grow up out of
Okay.
that household. So it's like, okay, yeah, your mama, your grandma, they may be there, but they may not always be at that phone call. And yes, we got friendships and friends who we could dial on, but it's something about that partner that lays next to you in that bed that you can always call on and build with
Absolutely.
your life experiences, and then they're able to see you grow each day and vice versa. So that's what it's about for me.
Essica, you want to piggyback on that, any or?
I think everybody has said something just phenomenally. For me, I know I can date and I can laugh, but laughter, I said earlier, is big for me. But, you know, being who I am, house raised, I'm not able to lay in the bed and giggle in the middle of the night with somebody that I'm just dating. But with my husband, I can lay in the bed, we can roll over, we can look at each other, we can laugh, we can watch Family Feud or whatever we're watching, and we can laugh and joke. Then we can go to sleep, wake up, and just and have a good time together, just each and every day.
Yeah, I love that. I love all of your responses, and with that, I'm going to even just kind of move on to the next because there's a reality to divorce also, and statistics show that Black Americans have the biggest divorce rate. And why that is, maybe because we tripping and dipping and don't know
That's in
what we're doing.
2026.
That
Still?
Yeah.
41%
Yeah.
Wow.
of Black Americans they're divorced. Now they even gave a statistic that Caucasians are 30%, but they never spoke of the Asians, the Japanese, the Vietnamese. They don't speak of them.
Yeah.
But we're concerned about our own race of people.
Right.
And so given that, it says, when you look around at your community, your friends, your family, the folks at this church, why do you think so many marriages are struggling to make it, Cassie?
Shoot, social media.
Social media.
I try to compare like my mom and dad, 40-something, 46 years married. And I look at what I have that they didn't have. And it's a lot of distraction. I just feel like it's right there. You don't have to leave the house. If you want to cheat, just pick up the phone. You can just do everything. You can look at anything, social media. So I feel like that plays a big part in it.
Well, they definitely didn't have any computers. They didn't have iPads and tablets. They didn't even have a cell phone. You didn't have that rotary phone in your home. You were messed up or that push button.
Right.
So,
They'll write a letter, though.
anybody else want to piggyback on that?
I think people people don't see or hear of good thriving marriages.
Speak up.
We see. I had 2-parent household, so I grew up with both my parents. My grandparents were both married. But a lot of times when people even that are married in good marriages, all they hear of or people talk about is what this person didn't do right, what they don't like, or how this other person upset them. So single people a lot of times see that fighting and those kind of things, and they say, well, I can do that by myself.
Right.
So I think that's big also.
The willing, in today's era, a lot of people have the ability to rely on their own feelings. You don't have people that hold one another accountable. I remember my mom sharing early.
Your parents have been married for how long, Keith?
58 years.
58 years.
Wow.
Boy, that's a long time.
Yes,
And
He's not 58 though.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we know
I
that.
just want to
wear your mask.
Okay.
But anyway, because
Come on, Keith, I'm not going to let
I
Cassie interrupt you anymore.
Well, I remember one particular time, I was very young, that my mother took me to my grandparents. And I could tell by the vibe in the home that it was my mom separating herself from my father. And we ain't stayed, but it wasn't even a day. And I remember years later having that conversation,
Right.
Addressing that conversation. And my mom told me that her mother told her that's the person that you chose as your husband, so you need to go back
love that.
and you need to fix it. And that's rare now.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
more than anything, the door is open to come back home as opposed to work things through. And the one thing that I took into consideration before I asked for Cassandra's hand in marriage was how much of myself was I willing to compromise.
Yep.
That's a good question.
May I add on to that as well? From the other spectrum, a lot of African Americans didn't grow up
Right.
with that marriage. Their parents being married, their grandparents being married or whatnot.
Yeah.
And they had to witness their parents, mother or father, whoever was raising them, focusing on survival and not
Right.
love.
Right.
So when they do get married, yes, they have love in those relationships, but they don't have the necessary tools to be successful in that marriage.
Right.
So I think that's probably a factor in African Americans getting divorced. They don't have the necessary tools to be successful. They love each other,
Right.
but finances, social media, things come into play that pull them apart, and they don't know how to handle it.
Okay.
You know.
Angel, you have anything to say about that? Or you just piggybacking
I'm
off
just
your
listen,
husband?
listen. Call me
You just
piggyback
taking it
because
all
I'm over
in?
here nodding. Yes.
Africa, you would agree with all of that?
I agree with all of that.
Absolutely. Helena, you and I actually had this conversation, and I want to know why is it that our race of people stand out to be the biggest percentage of divorce in the divorce rates? Why is that?
Well, we could go historically, right? No other people have actually gone through what we've gone through in this country. So we carry different pressures and stresses. We come from families that were divided for different reasons, you know, just our existence here in this country, right? So we know what happened there. So yeah, that goes really deep. And so then some of us did come from homes with two parents, two grandparents, but not necessarily did we learn how to be in a marriage, right? Because I know for me, you know, I'm probably older than most people here, but for me, it was separate. You didn't know what was going on. If you saw some affection between the two, that was rare. Right?
Yeah.
So those kind of things. So even the marriages that were lengthy, you didn't really learn how to be in a marriage from that. You just knew to stay together.
So it was just
Oh
like
my
what
gosh.
Sherrod said, we were just taught to survive.
Like fence
Survival
movement.
skills.
Absolutely. So that's one thing. Now, let me say this. The rate, even though it's higher, we still have the highest rate, it has decreased from like 10 years ago.
Amen.
So it has, we're staying married a little longer.
Yeah.
Staying together.
We trying.
I'm not just helping.
That's what I'm talking
Right.
about.
But-
Raising that bar.
But the other thing I want you all to be aware, like, there were generations who stayed together because they had to.
Right.
And now mostly both parties are self-sufficient.
Yeah.
They're able to have their own income and do all that. So it's different reasons. But we trying to hang on in there, and we're committing to therapy more and couples counseling and all that, trying to get the tools, doing premarital, all the things, which I highly recommend for any couple to do some premarital. Whether they engage, they're dating, because if you're dating, you can still do it, because that can kind of determine if you want to go any further.
Right. I told y'all this is the only free session you're going to get from a licensed professional counselor. So y'all better take heed, because the next one, I want your Blue Cross Blue Shield card.
Amen.
All right.
Okay, so you guys have already talked about like what marriage looked like in your home. Okay, you talked a little bit about the longevity of your parents' marriages, and so how much of that in your marriage, how much of that did you have to unlearn, and how much of that did you hold on to that spilled over into your marriage that you use even right now today, Cassie?
I can say it took me a minute, I'm not gonna lie, to actually take in what I seen my mom and dad do growing up in our marriage. It is, because at first I felt like I have a voice, you know, and my mom, she did too, but my dad, she always respected him regardless. He always was like, ugh. So, but you know, it took a lot, but I seen that it worked though, because you know, 46 years still married. I'm like, okay, so it must work.
Something worked.
Yeah, so I literally had to like check myself with that and take that into my marriage. And when I realized and think about it, me using it, it actually works.
Okay, so all that growling wasn't in vain.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Right, baby? Not at all.
You know, my parents had some really good points and some good tools that they provided for my brother and myself. However, there's a huge difference. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, you know, and before she passed, my parents were married for 36 years. So my marriage looks much different because I work, you know, full time, and then we're a blended family, and so I grew up in the household with my biological parents. So it looks a little different. However, their level of commitment, their level of respect for one another, they both have voices. They argued fair. You know, a lot of times, you know, arguing in front of the kids, you know, just taking it behind closed doors. My parents would have conversations.
Right.
So we would see, how do you have conflict and how do you resolve that conflict without having to go to the low blows. So I think that we try our best to make sure that we don't always fight fair, if I'm being honest. But we try our best to make sure that we keep that there, the love and the respect within our marriage.
Absolutely. Angel.
Could you repeat the question for me?
It's like your parents when you witness them in their marriage. So how much did you observe that in your marriage you had to unlearn, not learn, unlearn, and how much of that do you hold on to today that helps your marriage or strengthens your marriage?
Well, so my background's different. I come from a single mother, single household. And I always was like, what? Why my daddy ain't married? What's wrong with your knee? You ain't want to get down on that knee? Ask my mom to marry you. But but my grandmother and my grandfather, they were married, and oh my goodness, I just always remember, and that's why I found a love of cooking. Cause at first I was like, like I love to eat. I'm a foodie. I love a good meal.
Okay.
And it gotta be hot and steamy. But my grandma, she was a chef. My grandma was a chef. And so she would always have a hot meal prepared. She would always just be like, okay, your granddaddy on his way home. He done been out here. He done fought in a war. He working for the government postal service. So I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna be his peace when he comes home. Just like I want him to be my peace. And so it wasn't so much of unlearning. I just had to learn because it wasn't visible in my household as far as with my mom and my dad. But for my grandmother and my grandfather, I was like, okay, I really understood the definition of peace. And peace comes in different layers. So I was like, okay, check. I'm going to do that. Okay, check. So it was just like a lot of learning stuff for me.
Okay, man, do you want to say anything about this?
Go ahead,
I would like to say that I had to unlearn a lot.
Okay.
In my upbringing, we solved issues through violence. I grew up in Oak Cliff, off Husband. My mother, she was in certain different relationships, and I witnessed a lot of things. And that's how I learned to solve things. I didn't know anything about ego. I didn't know anything about self-awareness. All I knew about is how to fight. And when I got with my wife here, before we got married, I think we had one big argument before we got married, and I stopped her and I said, you know what, if we're going to fight like this, both of us, it won't be healthy for us and we can't go forward. So if I want to talk to you and see if we can figure this out, and we can't do this anymore. And we both agree we won't do that anymore, and we've never done it since we've been married.
Amen.
Amen.
Just in the midst of all of this, I know these are some good conversations, so please don't forget to like and share this video because these are some hot topics. Y'all better listen tonight. And make some comments if you have some comments about relationships, your marriage, want to be married, living in a house, single, with a man, whatever your situation is, your situationship is. Feel free to comment on that. And we're going to continue this segment on love and marriage. There is one question I want to ask you guys. You got to be very, very honest with me on this. Has there ever been a season in your marriage where you thought, I am done. I am out of here. I don't even want this anymore? Has there? And obviously, if there was, you stayed. So what made you stay, or what made you fight for the relationship that you have, your marriage? Come on, I'm calling y'all. Come on, Lloyd. You look like you want to talk already.
Before marriage, I mean, I'm sure there were a number of times. You gonna get honest for me?
All right, let's go then.
You said before marriage?
Chill out. Before marriage, there were a number of times where I took into consideration I'd like to do something different.
Okay.
Really?
But once I ended up as a husband, well, prior to going into it, I came to understand. I always compare it to the lifestyle I chose as a child and the loyalty I gave to that.
Okay.
And understanding all the issues and wrong that came with that. So how can I not show the same commitment as an adult and that's in the position of a husband? So there are times that have occurred where I get upset, but ending the marriage has not crossed my mind. I just understand that in the vow, you don't know how bad worse can be. And you also don't know how good how great the good can be. But with the willingness to work on certain things, to be able to hear, see, I can put my pride aside. I can be addressed, and I don't have a problem. I always want to end
So
with
you
the
don't give
understanding.
attitude when you.
There have been a time or two where I lost it. You push
you
the
look
right
like
button.
somebody gives some attitude.
Well, I do
Because
my
I push
best.
it.
I do my best to not give it.
I push it without really knowing, but I push it. But yeah.
Nancy can push
Well,
everybody.
I know I
I
can't.
do want to, as a sidebar, I do want to say this, that men, for example, this gentleman and I can have words, and at some point we both know that the next word will probably come to blows. So we may say, you know what, I'm done.
Yeah.
That don't happen too often in terms of male-female interaction.
Why
you know,
is that?
because
it's
women
a
want to
respect
get
between
emotions and
men.
feelings out their chest.
Yeah, I do too, though.
Well, there you go, right there.
cannot
There's an example.
interrupt
There's an example.
Keys floor. Yes.
Nah,
You will have your
Yeah.
turn.
Okay.
I'm blessed. This is my wife. I'm good.
Okay. Hallelujah.
See, Cassie want to take over Keith's conversation.
I know. I promise I do.
But I do have some other people on the panel. If y'all just kind of want to spit out some answers or your thoughts on ever having the feeling of I'm done, I'm out of here, I quit, I give up, but yet you stayed.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there, you know. Oh, Lord.
I'm playing.
Oh, man.
Wait a
Don't
minute.
looking at my
Yeah,
panel.
see, that's why they put you up here in front. So
Boy,
you
that
got
ride
both
on.
of
Don't
them.
look at
And we,
Okay, we're listening. We're listening.
I mean, there are times where, you know, you want to throw in the towel, and she and I had that conversation where, you know, you feel like I'm up to here. I don't know what else we can do. I can't take this anymore. And we had the conversation, hey, if this doesn't get any better, then we're probably better off apart. And through that, I'd have to give the kudos to my wife. She was like, hey, we need to work on it. We got us some counseling. We began to speak to a party outside of us.
Amen.
And kind of work on our differences and understanding that, hey, we were just in a bad spot.
Right.
And then we learned how to move
like
things
that. I
to,
like that.
what did he call it? Make it an inanimate object. So use the water bottle. Be mad at the water bottle. And then talk to the water bottle about the problem, and then we use that
'Cause they
inanimate
can't talk
object.
back.
Yeah, they can't talk back.
It
And so
does
we
not talk
had
back.
an opportunity to both speak our piece through someone that had no dog in the fight other than wanting us to be
I love
together.
that.
And then we learned from that and grew. And so we're better off as a couple now.
So, Helena, do you think after a major fight, when couples feel like throwing in the towel, what is it that you would suggest that they do at those moments? Like, you know, Lord say, talk to the water bottle because the devil ain't talking back. I can assure you of that.
Well, a couple things I recommend to couples. First of all, if you get that emotionally charged, and normally we don't get to that point over one incident.
Right.
Correct.
So this is some build up, it's some resentment, and then it's like I've tried it. People tell me I tried everything. When I ask them what they've tried the same thing over and over again, and that doesn't work. But what I tell couples is every time you have a fight, if we're going to call it that, a disagreement, conflict, and you are doing this, right? And both of you are trying to win, the relationship is going to lose, right? So you have to address things as a win-win. What's a win-win? We both feel heard. We both feel understood. Our feelings are validated.
Y'all
That's a
taking all this
win-win,
in.
right? So when, even if there's something we don't agree on, it's not like, okay, I'm just going to concede to what you want to do. Oh, we're going to negotiate. And if anybody feels bad about the negotiation, keep going, because it's not a win-win. You both want to leave the table saying, yes, this is the best thing, not for me, not for you, but for our relationship. We can grow from this. And then we got to repair, right? Because once we break down something in the marriage, right? Emotionally, we attack each other, verbally, whatever happens, you got to go back and repair that. And a lot of couples don't repair it. They don't resolve it. And so then you got this open wound. We move to the next thing. We think things are okay, and then kaboom,
The scab's gone.
the scab's gone.
Right.
Y'all understand all of that?
Yeah,
I got it.
It's not all whether you win or lose that matters.
Yep.
Right.
Right?
And just to piggyback on that, and as well as understanding that the relationship is bigger than the issue. And I think that's something that I've learned to make a practice of. Like, I did it the other day. I was like, man, you tripping over that? As opposed, I use the example of being a singer and selling out a stadium. Everybody bought tickets, but you're concerned about that first row that's booing. So it's so small as opposed to what the entire event is about.
Right. When you said you tripping over there, was you talking about me?
Nah.
Oh.
Do not side-eye my
Car ride,
panel.
that car ride, that car ride, that car ride,
Can we
that car ride,
Can we get Sister
That car
Helena
ride,
number to go
man.
across the screen?
that car ride. You know about that car ride.
We drove too far. Yeah,
Look
yeah,
at it.
yeah.
Yeah, we drove too far.
Elena, do you have your board where you can scroll the payment card? Cassidy's extended session.
The punch
Well,
card.
thank you for your feedback. Anybody else want to piggyback on any of that?
Would you like to say something, Wayne, or you want me to?
I've never had it a moment in our marriage where I wanted to throw in the towel.
Amen.
So we're very big on communication. Like after he said, once we had that one big blow up before we got married,
Yeah.
and I had to learn how to communicate because like I like when I communicate, and if I have a disagreement, I like to use spicy words, and so I had to learn
Like
not to-
jalapenos.
not to use seasoning. You know, I can't use seasoning with my husband,
Okay.
so I had to learn. Going back to that line, I had to
Okay.
learn how to speak to
My
him in
wife
a way
is
to
chef,
still get
too.
my point across, but still be respectful.
Okay.
So yeah, I haven't had a moment where I wanted to throw in the towel. Was there times where I was like, okay, may not be able to tolerate you in this moment because of a disagreement, but I've never not liked him and not been like,
Not to be like
let's
this,
just go.
yeah.
I think it's about learning those
But
buttons
you-
too.
Okay.
And
I would
to
like
what?
to say
Yeah,
that
not to press.
I need this side over here.
I would, just kind of.
We
My
need
bad.
to
I'm sorry.
you sit in the middle.
Right.
That's what we need
I
to
think
do.
y'all
They trying
exchange
to
some
do
white
it.
seating over here.
Yeah,
Sherrod,
this is
Sherrod.
Shuffling the seats.
Yeah.
No, I've never had that time where I wanted to throw in the towel throughout all 7 years of being married. But I want to emphasize that before we got married, we were together since 2011. I wanted to make sure that we were right for each other before we got married. So I didn't rush into marriage with my wife. I made sure we were able to be together, to love each other, to have that chemistry, to communicate, all those other things that we needed in a marriage. So I wasn't about, a lot of people say, you better get married, you better hurry up and get married, you got 5. She never even rushed me.
No.
All right
That
now.
was not her thing. She said, Sherrod, when you're ready, we're ready. So we took our time,
All right
and then
now.
we got married.
Because I knew I needed to grow within
got 2
myself too,
years.
so I knew
I
I
figured
was
it out.
ready.
I can't
I
do
hear you.
this side.
See, now y'all two. See, that was y'all. That was y'all.
They still married though, so they are.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for that, Angel. And with that, y'all talked about some expectations, so I'm going to move on into dating and expectations. Just off the top, men, do you still date your wife?
Yes.
When I can.
Yes. So
When I
we
can.
we went on a
Lord,
we
what
went,
does date night look like for you?
so we went on
I
a
wanna hear
date
this.
to lunch. So we'll every now and then, because we both work from home, and so every now and then we'll
Oh,
say, hey,
gosh.
let's go to lunch together. So let's go to lunch. Or sometimes we have an older, a senior in high school, and then a young kid. We'll say, hey, keep your brother. Me and mom are gonna go out. And sometimes we just may go ride in a car. We may just go to the park and sit up and look at people watch and laugh at people. And so we try to do different things to kind of keep it fun and keep it interesting.
And just know that date night doesn't always have to cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Go to the snow cone house and get a
Yeah.
nice snow cone.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to. Dating
You had a
doesn't
snow
have to
cone
cost a
the other
bunch of
day,
money.
and I didn't buy it.
It doesn't have to cost a bunch of money, and it can be unique. But your partner has to see it as a date.
Yeah.
Yes.
That part.
Okay,
so
I
if
like
they
that.
don't see
That
that
part.
as a date, that's not date night.
Right.
If you're like, hey, we're gonna stop over here and get snow cones, and they're like, yeah, I love snow cones, and then they bring up to you, we haven't been on a date, and it was like, we just had snow cones. That wasn't a date to them.
Very good
So
point.
it has to be understood. It's the meeting the expectation. We're having date night, but both of you all have to agree that that's a
That's
date
date
night.
night.
I like that. I'll take
Okay,
that.
so y'all take
That's
that
a good
all
point.
in.
That's a very good
Keep
point.
date night because you look like you ponder it all in the clouds.
Nah, I
boys
just
like that snow cone.
well, and I shared this with my wife before we got married.
Okay.
I'm more of the person that'll pay for it. You provide. I say you come
You
up
gonna
with
pull
the
out the wallet
idea.
first.
You come up with
Sure,
the
you're right.
idea.
I told you that.
I like that kind of man.
I told you.
Well,
Y'all can keep sitting next to each other.
No, but that's true, and I'm okay with that.
okay, good.
And
Sometimes.
and there are times where
But
I believe
saying she come up with it, though.
we've gotten better
You don't want that part,
in
though.
terms of my realizing that there are things that Cassandra likes to get out of the house and do also. But going back to the snow cone.
All right.
He said he could see that.
Cause there was a snow cone in my house, and I know I ain't take it to the date.
That was my son, Kanai.
Oh, I thought that was Tish took you to get snow cone.
No,
I did
oh,
Yeah.
oh, you being messy.
I am.
Didn't bring one.
If Cassie told you that, I am here
Remember
to
that
say it live and in color.
Come on.
I did not take Cassie to get snow cone.
No.
But I would like to say though that we have a 4 and a 2-year-old.
All right.
So we used to date a lot before we had kids in 2022.
Okay.
Like I said, we've been together since 2011. So,
Okay.
but since we've had kids, it's been very extremely difficult to date.
Especially when you have kids.
And you know we're like helicopter parents, so we don't let everybody watch our kids all the time.
Right.
We're always with our babies. So we date, but it's very rare now. It's like on holidays or anniversaries and stuff. And I know it's going to get better. I know a wife wants, because she wants to get out. I know she wants to get out. That's
I
her
want to
thing.
get out now.
But
I ain't
you
as
know,
tired as I was
exactly.
a few years ago.
Exactly.
When I had them babies natural. I ain't as tired.
But we're going to work. We're working on that. That is a difficult
I like
thing
that.
for us.
Yeah, work on it. I like
Yeah.
it. I like
Because
it.
marriage is work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you
it
have to
is.
be willing to put in all the energy, the time,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
to make it work. So
make it work.
don't ever let that die, man. Don't ever stop dating your wife because that's very important.
That's
Your
true.
Communication
spouse,
is
women, don't
important.
stop. And guess what, women? Men aren't always good at making dating arrangements,
That's
date
true.
arrangements.
No,
So
not.
guess what?
You got
Take the initiative to say, honey, I have a calendar on the refrigerator, and I've marked this Friday for date night. We're going, blah blah blah. And men just comply. You know, they don't
You
care.
right.
I'm there.
They're
I'm
not-
there. I'm
you
there.
just give me the
I'm
money.
dropping
And that
everything
can't
for
work.
you.
They
And
can
then it
work.
cannot work, right? Because that gets
Well, that
heavy.
got to be willing.
You gotta
It
be
can
with
get
I'm
heavy if I'm the only one planning, suggesting. That gets heavy.
It does.
does.
So what I tell couples, and I'm not saying be something you're not. I tell couples, get you a jar, fill it up with date ideas, right? And pull it.
Ooh.
Pull.
Ooh, I like
This is
that.
what we're gonna do. Both of y'all put stuff in. Pull. This is the date night, right? For the couple down there with the little babies, have a picnic at your house when they go to bed,
I'll babysit.
right? Just have candlelit. Put the babies to bed.
But they gotta be a date night to y'all.
But you both agree.
But you both
Yeah,
agree.
yeah. Gotta go back to that.
You
So-
just
so-
have to be.
You gotta be understood.
I know that picnic ain't gonna work in
It's
my
gotta
house.
be understood.
Well, I'm gonna say this: most of the times, the picnic will work. As a,
We actually did that one year for Valentine's Day.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so it was
the picnic
nice.
might work over nothing, is what I'm saying. But you
You're
both
right,
do
you're
still
right,
have to agree.
you're right.
You know, I was
I would like to
watching
say-
I Love Lucy, and she and Ricky took a card table in the closet and had a whole candle like this.
Yeah.
So,
They do.
baby in the crib in the room. So guess what?
You better not have
It's
that.
possible.
Right.
So you can do that.
Right.
Sherrod, what were you gonna
I
say?
was going to say, and just to go a little bit against it, it's extremely difficult when you have a schedule. You got to go to work in the morning. And I know, so I would like to say on top of that, you must make sacrifices.
There you go.
Yeah.
When, if that's something you want to do after the kids go to bed,
Of course.
you must make sacrifices. So please understand, it's not going to be,
No, it's
Like
not
you
gonna
said,
be-
your wife said spontaneity, so got to be spontaneous at times. Sometimes you just got to say, hey, we got 10 minutes.
Yep.
Let's try something. Let's try this.
Yeah.
I mean,
You do a lot
you
in
know,
10 minutes.
See, you do a lot. You have a lot of fun. 10 minutes.
Okay,
Yeah,
couple.
amen.
Okay, couple.
I'm sorry. The marriage bed or area is undefined.
Okay, you did make that.
He was
that
referring
comment
to
in
like
the
having a very quick lunch at the table.
Got you.
Yeah,
Got
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Go man.
Boy, he finding the wife.
She lied.
Found a good thing. Good thing.
I found my good thing.
Look at that.
Man, look at my
She
wife.
straightened it out.
Look at me.
Find that old wrinkle in.
Yeah,
Okay.
Lotion
It's a church
that
channel.
out.
Okay, okay, Cass.
Amen.
Okay, Thank you for clarifying that answer. She couldn't put him out on the street. You know,
There you go.
She put the
She had
fire
to
out.
clean
I
up the
appreciate it.
comments.
We're gonna
and
talk
all
about
this.
that on the way.
But
It's
it's
on the
okay.
way.
Yeah, that's a
This
good
is
wife.
we can do that. Okay, guys.
We'll stay with
When y'all were dating, what was the one moment you knew, not felt, knew that this was the person for you that you wanted to build a life with?
Oh, I want to go with that one.
Go first, yes.
When me and Keith started dating, I'm gonna be honest with you, I have never dated no one like Keith before, never. And he used to always be concerned about me, like everything about me, like what I got going on, or he asked questions. He just showed that he cared, and it was like he was putting me before him, and I wasn't even his wife. I really didn't even consider me as being his girl. I just considered him as, we just dating. But when he was doing that within 3 months, 6 months, it was just the same thing, consistent with it. So I knew, like, okay, God saved this man for me. I knew that right there.
That's a
I
good.
like that.
Yeah.
So, two-part.
Don't be looking at her like that, Lloyd.
I'm trying to see.
Fix your face. Fix your face. So, I have a biological son. He was 5 or 6 when we started dating, and he would drive from Denton all the way to Duncanville to come and take him to baseball practice on Friday after work. So he would get his son, our son, and pick him up from school. They would pack, come all the way to Duncanville to go and take him to baseball practice every Friday. And he worked all day long. And I said, okay, this is different. This is interesting. Okay. And then we continued to date. There's one thing that my father did for me growing up. I've always felt protected. I
Right.
always felt safe and secure. I didn't really question or wonder anything. And he's the only man I've ever felt that with. I don't know exactly when it came about, but it was just there. I've always felt safe and secure and protected no matter what it was.
That's great. That's great. Helena, is that important to feel safe and secure?
For most women, it's at the top of the list.
Right.
But it's not a set thing. It's the thing that works for each individual, right? So some people want safety, security. Some people want spontaneity. Some people want, different things. It's the thing that you want, that you're looking for. And I tell people, when you're dating, we make the mistake of giving full access to people who are not even relationship worthy. So when you're dating, there should be a matrix by which you have
Should've been a
to
notch in the
allow
belt.
access to yourself, to your heart, to your emotions before they, go to the next level.
Right.
Right.
You can't just start, I met him on whatever, one of the dating sites, and then the next thing you know,
Christian mingle.
okay, Christian mingle, and then the next encounter is, they're at your house. So
Wow.
I don't have anything against meeting the person online. You just need to know how to go up in levels. Okay, if you meet them online or her online, are they consistently responding? Oh, they're doing ABC, and you have to set this for yourself. And then once they hit those marks, we go to the next level. They can have my phone number. Well, we're talking on the phone, and this thing is happening. Then we can go to the next level and meet out in public. And then we can go to the next level, but we're not doing that. And then we face some serious problems. So it's the thing that's most important to you. For me, it was important to me that whoever my husband was going to be a provider.
All right now.
Right, and I meant financially provide, because at that time I was 20, I didn't understand the emotionally provide and all that. I needed him to financially provide. And I joke and tell people, he is that, has never failed on that. On the flip side of a provider can be a workaholic. Two sides to each coin, right? So it's the thing that's important to you.
Yeah, this time is kind of getting away from us, but since they started us late, we're going to take our extra 5 to 7 minutes. And I want to know, Cassie, who's monitoring the comments, if there are any comments that have come in from our viewers. And don't forget to like and share the SRA. We are almost at the end, but we're going to still give you what we got. Okay, so, okay, what else then? Whatever it is.
Angel.
I think, I'm trying to think. Could you repeat the question for me? I'm sorry.
I think
What time
You
did
would say,
when did you know?
Thank you.
Not felt.
Not felt. Yeah, I think I knew. It was a few things that took place since I was able to witness Sherrod's character because we were in class together. We got our masters together in acting, and when you go to a conservatory, it's literally like only 10 of y'all in a classroom. So I was able to see him handle different situations with different people. How he would show up for his sister, his mom, for his aunt and uncle, for his cousin Oscar whenever we would come into town before we moved to Dallas. And so I was able to like witness his character. And I was like, okay. And then also I love to laugh. Going back to you, I love a laugh. Even if he was corny, I was like, you know what? He still touched a little kiki. Okay, he's funny. And yes, I'm a cook now, but this man used to cook some good fish for me. You know, so it was just
So it was the
moments.
fish that drew you in?
It wasn't the fish, but it literally was like a plethora of moments that was just the purpose equation. Like it was, what am I trying to say? It was the correct equation for me. If I can, if I'm making sense.
Right.
Like
It's all the
it was just like
elements.
I knew, and then I always would tell him like, "Are you gonna protect me? Are you gonna show up for me?" I was held up at gunpoint when we lived in Jersey.
Oh wow.
And yeah, it was a crazy. I was like, oh Lord, wait a minute now. Is this what's going on? Because I'm a gangster, but I wasn't set up for that part. I said, wait a minute. I ain't had no weapons.
3
I was
days,
listening to my music.
right, right,
Like he caught me when my guard was all the way down, you know, and we commute up there. So I was like, oh my goodness. So immediately after it happened, I called him and I'm crying. I'm like, babe, I'm at the gate. I just got held up at gunpoint. He's like, what? I wasn't expecting this man behind me, my husband, Sherrod Dion Choice, to come down there. Where he at? Which way he go? I'm like, he ran that way. This man hauled. Now, my husband used to run for Cedar Hill cross country. Hauled. I wasn't expecting him to run. Ran, chased this guy, and he didn't even have a gun, y'all. He had I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that. He didn't have a weapon, but he just had it like his hand, acting like he did. And I saw my husband in a situation that I never seen him in as far as a protector. I was always like, are you going to fight for me? You going to protect me? Because I got to see, you got the glasses, you book smart, but can you, what were we doing? You know? And it was like literally, I knew, I said, oh, this man, he didn't catch him. He didn't catch him.
He didn't have a weapon.
No, he didn't.
No,
No,
okay.
he was listening. Okay, he was ready. But the little boy, you know, he got missing or whatever. But the feeling, and you know when you have like those butterflies, and when your body hot, and when you like, oh my goodness.
All right.
That's my husband right there. That man he saved my life. And he literally, I said, that's it. Yeah. That's my man. I said, that's my man.
There you
Rain him
go.
down.
I said,
There
he
you
knows how to
go.
love me the way I deserve to be loved. He listened to me the way that I need to be listened to. Like he knows how to hold a conversation. We've prayed together. When we were dating, we used to pray together. We used to read the Bible. And so it was like,
taken away from all my
I'm
husbands.
sorry. I'm just telling you about my man, but go ahead.
I like it.
For my man. I know y'all watch that.
I'm
So
done.
for my man. So for her man.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have a lot of comments. I mean, are there any comments coming in online?
Well, before we get to the comments, can I hear why he wanted to?
Did he
All right,
say he wanted to
now.
talk?
He didn't say nothing.
Oh, but then he didn't. If he didn't prompt the conversation.
It ain't really no comments.
Okay.
It said
Okay.
she
She said
said,
ain't really no comment.
I agree. I'm tired of planning. I want to chill sometime. That's what to the question about
Okay,
us
but-
doing everything.
Okay.
So she want to chill.
But see, you want to
that's
delegate somebody to talk. Keith, would you love to speak?
What is it you
The
want me
question
to?
was what?
When did you
No, you
know?
want to marry.
Not when you felt. When did you know that Cassie was the one
Yeah,
you would spend your life with?
that's the question.
I bet everybody hurry up. 'Cause y'all
All right,
want
all
to-
right, all right.
Keith?
We separated for a moment,
Okay.
and
Is that during the marriage or during the
no,
courting?
during the courting process.
Okay.
And at that time, I'd come to realize that one, she was a different type of lady than I'd ever dated before.
I got you.
Leave it. Also, I recognized the absence in my life. So that was something that made me realize that this was the person for me.
I love that. And you know, it's something about men. They just cannot be alone. Women, we can do it.
We sure can.
And me, I'm just going to go
Whatever.
out on a limb and say, men do not like to be alone. They don't want to be lonely.
We got friends.
Yeah, you got friends.
Yeah.
But they ain't like these spouses you have.
Amen.
Right.
So
Amen.
we're not going to even say
Amen.
that. We have got to touch on conflict and communication because communication is key in any marriage.
Yes.
Would you guys agree with that?
Definitely.
Okay, so a lot of people, they talk a lot. Listen to what I'm saying. They talk a lot, but they are never actually communicating. In your marriage, is communication more about getting the words out or making sure they're actually heard, that you actually hear what she's trying to convey, what her heart is feeling? So you ain't just talking just to be heard. You know, we don't need all of this, but we need some action behind that. So are you talking to hear her, or you just
Or
talking?
him.
Or him? Yeah.
Yeah, thank
That's all
you.
y'all.
Well, what the hell?
Come on, Essica. You look like yeah.
I would say in the beginning of our marriage, I would say I would talk because I want to win. I want you to hear
you
me.
want that
I
win-win
want to win
situation.
because I was right. And then, you know, of course, life happens. We had a lot. Wait, hold on.
Girl,
No,
Lord,
wife. A wife.
Right.
Come on,
Amen.
Essica.
But you know, life happens. We had a lot of losses in our, during our marriage, and we had to stop and be still for each other and do a lot of reflecting within.
Okay.
And with that, it took us time to kind of just stop, be still, and lower our emotions. Come from a calm, like step away from each other. He's good about walking out in a good way. And then coming back when we can have a conversation where
Okay.
we can't actually hear each other and understand each other. So
Okay.
it's grown.
So Cassie, do you just talk just to be talking?
I mean, I would talk because I want to be heard. And I feel like most of the times I'm not being heard because sometimes he comes back with correcting me or saying something. So I'm like, But then I had to really think about it, I got a lot of working on to do. I'm not gonna lie, I do.
Okay.
I do. I have a
will
lot of
agree.
working on because I have been independent for so long and have that voice to be like, you gonna hear me. And
So would you agree that our independence sometimes gets in the way?
It can.
It
I
does.
can say that. I can
Okay.
say that. And just to let him be him is, kind of hard for me sometimes. But then I have to, reality check sometimes.
You just INDEPENDENT.
Ooh-wee.
All
You
right
know what
now.
I mean.
That's it, right. But yeah.
Can I say something right quick to
Sure.
Cassie?
Yeah.
So,
Are
not
you
to
canceling me right now?
Not at all.
Okay.
You better think about
Not
this
at all.
quick.
I'm
telling you.
just something that can help with that scenario itself.
can.
I
She
take
said,
it.
hey, I say something, I don't feel like I'm heard because he comes back with correction. And most of us would feel that way. Before the correction, validate. See, if you validate first, people want to be loved. Not L-O-V-E, but L-U-V. They want to be listened to, they want their perspectives understood, and they want their feelings validated.
Gotcha.
Validate.
L-U-V.
I can see how you feel that way, and then she can receive what comes after. That's all I got to say.
Oh, girl, I need to write that down. You gotta
L-U-V. I have a pen right here.
Yes,
Right
I
here.
like that.
I had to learn that because oftentimes my wife will say, I feel like you minimize what I'm saying. And then you just taking it or saying, or talking over what I'm saying and
Okay.
that kind of thing. So I had to learn how to listen to actually understand, see her perspective on things. And because I'm a processor, I do take the time to walk out
Absolutely.
sometimes, think about it and process it. And then I can come back and say, hey, I understood where you were coming from. I don't have the same opinion, but
Right.
we can agree to disagree, but
Agreeably.
move together amicably. Yeah.
There you go. I love that. Sherrod, Angel, you guys want to tap into this, or you just talking to be talking, or you're talking and actually communicating?
Well, we both talk to understand. I think we both met in grad school, and the technique that we focused on in acting was the Meisner technique, where you will say one sentence to someone, and that person repeats it back, and you keep going back and forth with the same sentence, saying the same thing, but you're focusing on understanding the different ways and nuances on how you communicate with that. So we were able to understand in a better way. So when she tells me something like, Sherrod, I'm upset about that, maybe she's not upset about that. maybe something else she's upset about. And I can, from that training and that technique, we're able to look at each other and we're able to read each other in a way that, oh, she's not upset about that. She's upset about what I said earlier, or she's upset about what I did
You
earlier.
just kind of spilled over
Yeah,
into-
yeah. So I focus. We both actually focus on understanding each other,
Okay.
because communication. You can communicate all day you want, but if you don't understand the other person,
don't understand.
nothing's going to happen.
You're right.
There has to be a willingness to want to come to an understanding.
Yeah.
Going back to what was mentioned earlier, in this piece about winning. And this doesn't mean that this does not happen, or this is not the perception that I give to my wife, but winning isn't important to me, but understanding is. And but I have to take into consideration my relationship I haven't put as much time in as some of you all have. So we still on the process of learning one another. We've gotten a lot better. There's still a lot of work to do, but the willingness to do it.
There you go.
There are
There you
things
go.
that I used to
Yes.
see that I was zero tolerance about. But I understand that because I chose Cassandra as the woman that I want as my wife,
Right.
that there are some things that I can't let them be zero tolerance anymore. And I even with this panel here, what you said different things work for different people.
Right.
And I hear folks say, I don't allow this in my home, or I'm not gonna put up with this. Well, that's you.
That's your home.
For me, my intent is to see what it is that I can do, as well as what she is willing to compromise.
Right.
Because that's all it's about. As we continue getting older,
And you have to be able to come to some common ground,
of course,
Right.
of course.
That's true.
a level of
Definitely.
peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I definitely don't want to get away from this question. I don't even know how much longer I have, but I have 5 minutes, they say, and I'm going to get through all of this, but I do have a question because I have to touch on faith. And be specific and very honest when I ask you this question. How does prayer actually look like in your marriage? Is it together every morning or every evening, every night? Is it scattered? Or it's just when times get tough? Anybody just speak on that real quickly.
I can say with us, we don't pray every morning together, but when we have a conversation, I'm always hearing, I pray for you. And he'll tell me exactly what he prayed about. So we don't do it all the time together, but I know he's praying for me every day and I'm praying for him every day. So I can say we both know that. We just don't do it all the time together.
What does prayer look like in your home choices?
We usually I know I pray for this man every day, and I'm sure he prayed for me every day.
Yeah.
All right, that's the answer. But when it's time for us to eat, when it's time to say your grace, that's when we take the time to really add in all of our prayers. We definitely pray harder when times get harder, but I know for myself, I've been reminding myself to continue to talk to God even when things are going the right way, because don't forget where he was and where you was when you were, when things was up and when things was down. So you have to continue to talk to him even when those blessings, when those prayers are being answered.
Lloyd and Jessica.
I would say our prayers are scattered. We don't always pray together. I know I pray for my wife every morning. I have my meditation time that, I read my Bible and kind of thing. So I pray for her every morning during those time periods where I speak to God personally. She'll tell me all the time, hey, I'm praying for you. I pray that you get better in listening to me. But
You gotta
and
do
then
that sometimes.
yeah, and then we pray together at
specific.
times. We are more of that kind to where when it does get hard, we may pray together and do those kind of things together. But I know personally that we do pray for each other, and then that does strengthen our relationship.
Okay, so I do want to challenge each of you. This is something when I was dating in a long-term relationship, and this guy was a very Christian guy. Even if you don't pray every day, seek out a day of the week and stick to it. When you say we're going to stop everything we're doing and we're going to pray together. Our days were Wednesday mornings. Every Wednesday morning we made it a point. It was intentional.
Okay.
So you have to be intentional about that. Your prayer goes a long way. And it just kind of starts, just jump starts your day. 2 minutes, and I gotta get out of here. And hey, we're gonna do this game real quick. And these people have papers in front of them that says me, him or her, both, or hey, let's see.
I'm confused.
I'm confused. Give me some help. So when I ask you these most likely questions, you have got to raise up whatever your reply is. First, who is the most likely to apologize after an argument? Don't say anything, just raise up your paper. Most likely to. Keith, I can't see what you're
Lying.
Okay, her, both, her, me. Well, we
can
say
vote over here.
We apologize at the same time.
Okay, next question.
Okay,
Next question.
next.
Glad y'all not the same car.
Come on, hurry up. Come on,
We have some work to do.
And I got somewhere to go.
Come on,
Yeah.
go.
Okay. We can agree to disagree
Come on, Tish.
agreeably.
Next question.
Look,
Who's
calm down.
most likely to plan a date night? Just hold up your paper.
Oh, Lord.
Me, him. Okay, we got one.
The Bible says,
Now,
thou
her.
shalt not lie.
Me, Keith, what was your response?
He said him.
The Bible says, thou shalt not lie.
Okay.
Well,
Who's
put
the
your him
first?
up.
Hey, who's the one to most likely initiate intimacy? Yes, me, him, her.
I'm about to go.
It depends on the season.
Keith.
He is lying.
Okay, next
She
question.
means to call me a lion.
Who's most likely to spend the most money on unnecessary?
That Amazon man,
me.
he know the address.
Right. I gotta put mine up
Amazon
first.
know the
You
address.
know what? We cannot get these cameras on the
Because he's waiting to see mine.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you will.
Stop doing that,
We're
Keith.
new and I'm married.
Next question.
Who's most likely to make a
Damn.
candlelight dinner? Come on, Keith, do nothing.
Okay.
Okay, finally, one.
It's about
Tish, you act
time.
like you live there with us.
Wait, Sharon said him.
Look at her face.
Okay, got a couple more and then
You
we're out
got
of
one
here.
right, baby.
So, who's most likely to snore? Him, me, him, her.
Go ahead and find it.
There's some agreement.
We
Yeah.
can't agree, but he just can't find it because he done-
Okay.
We still do.
I'm done.
Okay. Last and certainly but not
Worse.
least, because these conversations can go
Oh,
on and
man.
on. Who's the one most likely to forgive, forget, and move on? Him, both, me.
I'm gonna help her
Keith,
out.
Keith, no, Keith.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
You ain't helping me out. You telling the truth.
both of them.
Thank you all.
Don't the
You
truth
have been a
help?
great audience. You guys have been a great
See, I told you
panelists.
about
You
wins
guys
and
have been great
losses.
panelists.
Wins and losses.
Okay. In closing, we want to say first, thank you, first and foremost, for joining us, Sister Helena, my co-host, and LPC,
Yeah,
licensed professional counselor. Again, this is the only free session y'all going to get.
Oh,
Gotta
man.
pull out your money and your cards next time. I want to say, marriage in today's culture isn't just about love. It's about commitment,
Amen.
growth, sacrifice, and vision. And in our community, we're not just fighting for relationships, we're fighting for legacy.
Amen.
So when faith leads, respect grows, and purpose aligns, marriage becomes more a union. More than a union, it becomes a foundation for generations to come. So we hope in leaving this that you go home and practice some healthy relationships. And where y'all were wrong on your answers, we hope that you can practice on
Bring it
those.
out.
And it's been real fun having you join us today. Show us some love. Thank you for being here while we were here. Give it up for our panelists.